You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Thank you so much. And now we have a special guest interview with DJ Struthmate.
G'day Struthlings, how the bloody hell are you? DJ Struthmate here, back with another wonderful interview to share. Yes, we have a wonderful indie singer-songwriter. She hails from America. Yes, she's from Tampa, Florida. She actually featured on episode 160 of the DJ Struthmate show, and we've got her on the show right now. I promise we're going to have a chinwag. It's here now. We have a welcome Frankie Raye. How the bloody hell are you, sweet?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm very good. You've stayed up very late on your end for me for having a chat, so I have to say thank you so much for, it's nearly midnight over there, so...
Oh, yeah, it's actually close to 1 a.m. here, but no, I'm just glad to be on the show.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And hot off the heels of a gig you just said you recently did, how'd that go this evening for you? Or yesterday evening?
Great. Yeah, it was great. It was at this little brewery in this small little town, and yeah, it was great. The response from the audience was really inspiring.
That's sweet. So, singer-songwriter is the title. So you've been singing, songwriting for how long now? I believe your family has a huge array of musicians and musos. So, yeah, it must have been from a very early age, yeah?
Basically grew up with music. I mean, all my family members were in bands. My brother was in, a pretty big touring band for a while, and it just was something that I kind of grew up with. So I started songwriting pretty much at an early age, but I've only been taking it seriously for the past few years, meaning like just working on my craft and, doing music full time. So.
Nice. And you've, we're going to call this little genre, this little amalgamation called folk pop. We're going to roll this, but not restricted to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have a massive array of covers, of course, that I mentioned that you do, but you're also writing your own original music, which is wonderful. But are you one of those artists that someone in the crowd can say, play some Alanis Morissette or play some Bowie or something like that? Or
Definitely, yeah, I get that a lot. Usually Alanis Morissette and Jewel, I get asked for her a lot. I think that's just the whole female singer-songwriter thing.
Yeah. Well, you do have a wonderful voice, I have to say. It's very fitting to some of the artists that do inspire you, of course. You play guitar, of course. Is that your primary instrument that you use to write?
It is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It's easy to kind of take that guitar with me, and you can pretty much play it anywhere. So. Yeah.
Good old guitar. Nothing better than an acoustic guitar sitting in the corner. Whatever you want. I'm a bit of a guitarist myself. I just don't play as much anymore. But I had a twang yesterday after listening to all these wonderful artists on episode 160 with yourself and others. And we had a lovely artist from Australia called Julie Kemba. Yourself and her definitely inspired me to pick up my little 6-string there yesterday. So thank you so very much.
Glad to hear that. Yeah.
I do have a little thing. You're from Tampa, Florida. I'm going to give us a little bit of I'm from Australia, of course, and I don't know terribly much. I did mention as well, sorry, I'm going to keep mentioning other artists I've spoken to in the last few days, but the Cranberry Merchants are from Georgia, which is very close to Florida. I've got a little list here that I'm going to throw at you. We might wait a little bit towards the end because I want to know a little bit more about inspiration behind some of your tracks, but it's going to be like a little thing, like, I think I went to a Google site. I was like, what's the top 10 things to go see in Florida?
Ooh, okay.
And I thought from someone, you were born and raised in Florida. You haven't moved there recently or anything like that, have you? You've always been there?
No, well, I've been down here for probably about 17 years now.
Yeah, so we'd say you're a regular to.
Yeah,
we can scratch that off the list. Well, you can give us the insight to this apparent top 10 list from the interweb, and you can tell us whether some of the experiences there are to be seen or not to be seen and give them a tick of approval, or say, no, kick that out the window, you can go visit somewhere else, then you might be able to give us some little tidbits to, the underground scene maybe that you reckon people should be checking out. So, back to the description of some of your tracks. We had Brave on the show yesterday. You've got to give us a little bit of insight into this song. What was the writing process, the inspiration behind the lyrics, all that sort of jazz, Sweets?
Yeah. So I wrote the song Brave probably about a year and a half ago. I was inspired to write it after it's kind of an unfortunate event, the Pulse shooting in Orlando, Florida. It was a nightclub, and it was a gay nightclub, and a guy came up there, and it was huge over here, and I don't know if it was worldwide or whatever, but basically I just started thinking about all of the things that happen in the world that are bad, rape and shootings and theft and just hate, So I kind of wanted to write a song about that, but I wanted to have, I guess, something more hopeful. So the chorus of the song is very hopeful. It's saying, we're not won yet, but we all have the ability to be brave and overcome hate and, prejudice, and yeah. So that was kind of like the driving force behind the song. And the melody, it took me a long time to kind of form the verse, like the melodies for the verse and the chorus, because the verses I kind of wanted to have more of like a somber sound, because I am talking about, these very sad events. But the chorus, I wanted it to be kind of bright and happy. So the song kind of takes you on a journey. It's depressing at first, and then it gets really happy, and, so, yeah. Yeah.
Takes you on an emotional journey. Exactly, that's what you're trying to recreate in a sense.
Absolutely.
For the mood and the timbre of it. So, very nice. Well, there you go. So, taking it's the best thing you can do as an artist this day. Just taking the negatives from something and trying to push it into something positive. So, I think you've achieved that very, very nicely there. So, yeah. We're also going to feature another track of yours at the end of this little chat-ski. Something Else. What was the inspiration behind this track? This one, I've got to say myself as a listener, I've only discovered you in the new year 2019. I'm so glad I have. But it's nice to get some people on the show very early as well. As soon as I discover them, it's like fresh in my mind, and I get to have an actual chat and get the inspiration. It really, the whole backbone and blueprint of songs is one of my sort of passions, is to find out, I like to discover all this stuff, like what's behind the scenes. You can see everything on that forefront, as a sonic wave, coming at you, or a visual wave for a video and everything. But getting into the nitty gritty. So apologies, that's just me going off into a Struth rant again.
No,
pardon
it's
me.
all good.
Bad Struth. Okay. Something Else. Pardon me, Sweets.
Yeah. So with Something Else, I kind of try to stay away from, I guess, love songs and sappy love songs, but this one's kind of a love song, but I wanted to make it, I guess, more relatable to everyone. So it's kind of just about the situation where you might be talking to someone or thinking about pursuing a relationship with someone, but it might not be the right time, or this person might not seem like someone that you should pursue. But it's more so, I guess, just about, following your heart and, letting love kind of do its thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. So you have a big catalogue of original songs coming up for. You had an album released in 2016, and the new one's out this year, I believe. Have you got, like, as an artist? That's the other thing I like to know. What's your sort of plans? Have you got another one already projected in the future, ready to go as a project or sort of thing, or is that one still in the works, or what's going on?
I'm still kind of on the heels of this album, so I'm definitely focusing more on that, but I am still trying. Just earlier today I was just kind of jotting down some ideas for new music, because I think it's important to just keep writing. Don't write just for an album, write just because you want to write, so I'd like to release another one, or at least a single, at least by next year for sure, and I want to start getting into releasing singles in between years and collecting a bunch of songs and then releasing an album. I'd like to kind of more regularly release individual songs.
There's maybe some artists that you'd like to work with, some local, or gosh, you can go up to the famous level. Tell us some artists who you'd love to work with, even on a dream level.
Yeah, I mean, I know as far as local artists goes, there's which I don't even say she's local. There's Daphne Willis, who she was from Northern America in the Chicago area. She's really great. I like her style a lot. Ingrid Michaelson, you know, she's pretty famous. I feel like my style is with her. Eric Hutchinson is also one of my favorites. I think his songs I could listen to his songs all day. So he's definitely someone that I'd like to work with.
Sweet. So I've got Diane Willis, Ingrid Michaelson, Eric Hutchinson there. I'll have to have a little search here and share them around too, Struthlings. So there you go. If you're a fan of Frankie Raye's music, dabble into some of those. So yeah, I know. I think that's another thing to tick off on the list as an artist. Is it's always fun doing your own stuff and everything, but get to work with another creative mind and create something together. That's got to be cool as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Power in numbers.
Yeah, and of course in the learning process too. You snatch little ideas off each other, or not snatch. You know what I mean? Learn from each other.
I think it's important to collaborate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So with your setup with guitaring and singing, you keep it nice and simple. Just straight up mic, guitar. Maybe, do you have any pedals or anything like that, or anything, or any special amps or anything? No.
No, I keep my setup. It was funny. I'm actually at my gig earlier today. I was talking to this woman about it because she was like, "Oh, well, why? It's just your microphone and your guitar." And I was like, "Yeah, and there's a lot of local artists and other artists who I see using the looping pedals, and I think, but I feel like for what I do, it's not really necessary. I kind of just acoustics or songwriter type stuff. I mean, maybe one day I'll get around to bringing my loop pedal to shows and kind of exploring that, but it's a lot of the places I play, I mean, I do my original music, but some of these places, especially along the beach and in some of the tourist areas, they do want to hear the cover songs, and they do want to hear one song after the next. And the problem, if you have too big of a setup, or if you're using looping pedals, sometimes it could take someone 3 or 4 minutes to create a loop. I've seen even more than that, and it's like, but then the audience is just kind of sitting there listening to you tap for a little bit, then they're listening to you strum a few chords for a little bit, then they're so it takes a long time to get into the song. So I kind of like staying away from that because I can just go one song to the next.
Oh, look, if you're in a talent show competition sort of style, I think the person without the pedals would be more, be the person to be worried about, people rocking up any special tools and so, oh no, she's just got her voice in a guitar, what's she gonna do? And she does everything perfect, you can start a song straight away, you can tap, you can make your own, percussive guitaring effects if you really want to put a little bit of a build up in there and all that sort of stuff. You know what I'm talking about. But sweet. That's awesome. That's really good to hear. And it's stripping it back to what it naturally is. It's your voice and an instrument to go along with it. Do you do much stuff with the full band as well, like performance wise? I mean, you obviously got them on for the recording for the albums and stuff.
Yeah, I love playing with the band. The cool thing about where I live here in Florida, our community of musicians is so strong. I mean, we have Facebook groups where we all communicate with each other. And I mean, if I get booked at a place and they say, oh, well, we don't really want a solo artist, we kind of want a band, I can just be like, oh, I have tons of drummers that I know. I've got bass players, I've got lead guitarists, So I usually start reaching out and finding people to collaborate with for that show. However, I do have a pretty consistent band already. I've got a drummer and a bass player and a lead guitarist who pretty much are usually available if I have a show where they do want a band, So it's,
That's good backup, as long as you got that time in advance to get it organised, and you're set, you're sweet. So that's a good network.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Cool. So, Tampa Bay musicians on Facebook, I guess. Or not Tampa Bay, Tampa, Florida.
It's. I think they just changed the name of the group too, but it was the Florida Musician Exchange. It's a group that you join, and it's for full-time working musicians that if we need if one of us gets sick or something and we need a cover for a gig, we can just hop on there and say, hey, I need someone to cover my gig tonight at, this place, such and such place. And usually there are people get right back to you saying, hey, I can cover you tonight. And, so it's really cool. The community is really awesome.
That's sweet. That's sweet. So social media working for the gooder, better. You can head to www.frankieraye.com. Now, I remember saying this to you on the show. This was Frankie Raye with an E on the end of the Frankie and an E on the end of the Ray. So just make sure.
Yeah, IERAYE.
But you're on all the top social media places you need to be. Sweets, you want to rattle them out for everybody? You're on Facebook, Insta, Twitter. What are the music ones you're on? You're on SoundCloud?
Yeah, so SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Facebook, Instagram, that's all Frankie Raye music, except for Twitter, which is Frankie_Raye. Yes, Frankie Raye is already taken.
Damn it.
I know. That's why I had to think of something different.
Oh, that's going to suck. You just had to think of that one day. The underscore fixes everything, though. It's all good.
Yeah, but YouTube is also Frankie Raye music. Pretty much everything's all Frankie Raye music.
Yes. I was actually on the old Tuba View this afternoon before we were chatting, and I saw a couple of your performances you got to do on Live American. I guess it's morning show TV. Is that what the circumstances were? Yeah. Absolutely.
It's called the Tampa Bay Morning Blend, and it's just a local show. They have not just musicians, but they have local restaurant owners and authors and basically anyone in the community. This show supports people like that, so it was really cool to be able to go on there and talk about the album and perform some of my original music.
Yes, very sweet. And yes, you look wonderful on screen, I got to say too. So you got wonderful. Yeah, you got a wonderful stage presence, and I can see people definitely enjoying, a gig from you. Do you do that little storytelling thing in between songs as well as a singer-songwriter? Do you do that as well, or you just get just straight on with the music?
It depends on where I'm at. Some of the venues I play are more listening room, and it's really cool when I have people come out that I enjoy my original music. So especially if I write a new song and I introduce it, there's definitely storytelling going on. But then if it's, a noisy restaurant where you're just kind of background music, I usually just go one song to the next. Yep.
I suppose if you've got the intimate space to be able to, connect with people on a, little personal level in between, definitely go for it. Yeah, you're not going to be doing that too much on the big stadium rooms.
Yeah.
It's like someone way in the back only heard the first word by the 12th second, because of the sound dissonance. But
yeah, exactly.
Cool. So there you go, Struthlings. I will be providing all the links, of course, to Frankie Raye, but the main hub there, of course, as mentioned, www.frankieraye.com. Yes. So we will be playing this track. Something else, as I mentioned earlier, I've got this wonderful top 10 list from searching Google today for the top 10 places I should visit if I head to Tampa, Florida. What's your initial description of Florida? Would you say would you say come to Florida? Would you be that person on the ad saying come on down?
Oh man,
You're not sure?
I personally love Florida because I can't deal with snow or cold, and I actually enjoy hot tropical sweaty weather. But it's funny, there's a running joke. I mean, I don't know how far this joke has traveled, but there's so many memes and things on Facebook of people just making fun of Florida. There's this character called Florida Man, and the joke is that anytime anything crazy happens, like a headline, or some guy doing something that's like, what? It's always someone from Florida. I don't know if it's the heat or I don't know what it is, but it's I like Florida in the sense that it's south of the United States, but it doesn't feel like the South because we have so many people from so many different states. I mean, people up north, we've got New Yorkers, we've got East Coast, all over. So it is cool. It's kind of a melting pot of a bunch of different cultures, really.
Oh, you just reminded me. I literally put up a Florida Man thing on Instagram not too long ago. It was only small though. It was Florida Man beats ATM, says it gives too much cash. So that's the thing you're talking about. Those memes where it's like something crazy happened. It was Florida Man. Could be someone from anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Florida copying it there. My gosh. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
You poor buggers. Alrighty, let's go for this top. You can tell me. You've got to tell me. Yeah, we'll do the top 10 that I've got here. You can give it a yay or a nay. Say yes, you should visit this if you're not from here, or just say no and give us the ups and downs or whatever. Then we'll get you, like, say, your top 3 places that you say that you should visit. That'll be the well-known or underground, as mentioned. So, alrighty, thank you, Frankie. Let's get into this. Top number 1 place to visit in Tampa, Florida is the Busch Gardens.
Yeah, I love Busch Gardens. I love roller coasters, and there's animals, and yeah, it's great.
So it's not just like a little sort of botanical garden type thing. So there's rides, there's the candy cane floss, that sort of thing. Is there clowns? There's no clowns, is there?
Yeah, no, it's Busch Gardens is great. I love it. It's a cool theme park.
Okay, cool.
Specials going where if you buy your ticket, they'll say, oh, for a short price more, you can get a pass for the whole year. Sometimes they don't even charge you extra, so it's really cool.
Right. Oh, we're going to give the Busch Gardens a big tick there. Okay, we'll visit there if we head there. Okay, number 2 on the list, we got the Florida Aquarium.
Oh yes, yeah. I actually wish it were bigger. I wish it were bigger. I actually went there a couple years ago on my birthday, and yeah, it was fun. I hadn't been there before, so it's great. And they do a really great job taking care of the animals, and it's also a research facility too. So
yeah, well, I suppose you're surrounded by water there, so it makes sense to have an aquarium. We can have some rescue.
Yeah, there's
that sort of stuff as well. Yeah. That's sweet. Okay, we got number 3, the Tampa Bay Brewing Company. This sounds like somewhere cool.
Yes. I've actually performed there before.
Awesome. It's sweet.
Yeah,
so it's definitely going to get a tick from you.
Yeah. It's always. I mean, there's great crafts beers, and it's a great place. It's fun.
Cool. Well, that's good. And that, obviously, as you said, they have performances and have gigs there too. So yeah, it sounds like a nice atmosphere. We have at number 4 the Tampa Bay History Center. I know history's good, but
yeah. I'm gonna say yes on that too, because and in fact, when I was in college, I was doing elementary education. I was an education major, and we used to go to the Tampa Bay History Museum, and we would take kids there, and it's really cool because it talks about the history of Florida, everything from the Seminole Wars, the Indian Wars and everything. So there's a lot of stuff that went down here in Florida. So it's a cool place. That's another one I wish it were bigger too.
Cool. Well, I'm pretty happy with this list so far. You're ticking off all of them, so someone has done their research. So we're halfway through, and number 5 is Big Cat Rescue.
Oh, you know what? I haven't been there yet, but it's been on my list for a while. I've actually talked to.
This is lions and tigers and stuff, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and it's a rescue. I want to go so badly. So I haven't been, so I can't say yes or no, but I have a feeling it'd be a yes. So yeah, I'm just doing here. So it's animals that have been rescued or been in bad situations, bad circuses and stuff like that sort of thing. It's sanctuary type thing, Struthlings. So yeah, Big Cat Rescue. It's not just so you can go up and pat the lions and tigers while they're sedated or anything silly like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Number 6, Adventure Island Water Park. Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it's fun. I haven't been there in a while. I have a feeling I would like it less now as an adult because water parks and I don't know. But I think for
more
kids,
of a kids attraction, but still.
yeah, for sure. It's a good
memory at least. Yeah.
Family event.
After the water park, we have Lowry Park Zoo at number 7.
Yes, I was actually just there recently, and it's great. Yeah, Yeah, it's great. They did a really great job with that zoo. It doesn't look like the animals are, they're not just stuck in cages. It's a fun place. It's pretty big too.
I think that must be a thing amongst today's zoos and stuff, is that they've copped so much flack for the last however many years, saying that this place is a zoo, it's just a fucking prison for animals or whatever. But yeah, to make everything look and feel as natural as a habitat it can be, or So okay, yeah, we'll tick off. Yeah, I'm just thinking. Sorry, I've still got Adventure Island.
Yeah, it's
maybe one day they'll combine the two, and you can roam around free with the animals and just go down the water slide. Okay, number 7, the Tampa River Walk.
Yes, I play shows a lot on the River Walk. And it's actually not that old. I remember when they were building it, but it runs, I mean, all along the strip in downtown Tampa. And there are street performers, and then there's little restaurants where you can stop. There's a place right along the Riverwalk where I play pretty frequently. I'm actually going to be there on Sunday. It's fun. They really did a good job building that. You know, it's just nice to stroll along. And during the holidays, they have little parts where they have, you know, ice skating rinks. And obviously it's Florida, so it's, you know, they have to actually build that. But, you know.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Much closer to the equator than, say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Number 9, we have the Hillsborough River State Park. Another park on the list.
Yes, and I don't know if that's the same as the Upper Tampa Bay Park, but I know I've kayaked through there.
Okay.
And that was a lot of fun, yeah, because there's, you know, little spots where you can pull your kayak off to the side and, you know, lunch or whatever. There's picnic tables, and there's little trails you can walk through, so that's definitely a lot of fun.
Well, bar Big Cat Rescue, you've been to all these places, so this is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, this one I have to pronounce right. This is number 10, it says, because it's spelt weird to this way. You probably know what I'm going to say. Ybor City.
Ooh, I think I'm going to say no at night.
No at night. Okay,
yeah,
look out.
Yeah, there's actually again, I've played a few times in Ybor, well, several times in Ybor. There's one venue that I actually asked them to stop booking me, respectfully, but it was because at night I would load my equipment out and it was chaos. It seemed kind of like a dangerous area. But during the day, it's really cool. There's the Columbia restaurant, which is extremely historical here in Tampa, one of the oldest in the area. So then there's, you know, old cigar factories and stuff that were during the turn of the century, and you know, so it's fun during the day. I would say it's fun to walk around, brick roads and everything. But at night, I think it gets kind of shady. So.
Cool. No worries. Well, you need to give us a heads up. See, if we were heading there one night when Struth's walking past Ybor City. Hey, you know, it's 8 p.m. I'm going to head in right now. If I didn't have your advice, something may have happened. So, okay, thank you for that. That's the top 10 from the internet. Now, what's your top 3 places that you suggest for everyone to go to? It doesn't have to be off that list. You can, just let us know. What are your top 3 places that you'd like to hang out?
In the Tampa area or in Florida in general?
Oh, but anywhere, sweet, anywhere close to home, or general, not within a drive distance.
Yeah, within driving distance from here, Siesta Key is beautiful. It's about I'd say about an hour south from us. Siesta Key Village is just gorgeous. The beach is right there, and all these cool restaurants and places to go. Bradenton Beach is also a lot of fun, which is
Bradenton. Okay.
Yeah, Bradenton Beach. Again, it's just this cool little village with restaurants and shops and things. I would also suggest there's a lot of really cool little places. St. Augustine is definitely more of a drive. I would say about 2.5 to 3 hours. But St. Augustine is the oldest city here in the United States, and it's gorgeous. It's so historical. I mean, there's old forts and castles, and it's just a really beautiful. If you're into history, definitely try to go up to St. Augustine because it's beautiful.
Cool. So Siesta Key, Bradenton Beach, St. Augustine. There's Frankie's top 3 picks to go head to if you're visiting Tampa, Florida. Alrighty, thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
Good insight. Because love to travel to the US one day, and we'll put Florida on the list because I'll have to go try and spot a Florida man and get a photo of him in the wild,
especially in Ybor.
Oh, that's horrible. Sorry about that, sweeties. My apologies. Alrighty, well, I don't want to hold you up any longer. I'll let you get some rest after your gig this evening and get your mind fresh for the weekend, so you can know whether you got something creative up your sleeve for the weekend, or you got something else on. You playing any more this weekend, or you get to chillax?
Yeah, I've got let's see, I got a show tomorrow. I even forget where I'm at. I think it's I know I play so much. I know I'm in Tampa on Sunday, and then tomorrow, I'm in the area as well. So got a couple gigs, and during the day I planned to do some more songwriting and some business things.
Sweet as. Well, here at the DJ Struth Show, we'd like to say thank you so much for your time, and thank you for getting us all the info about yourself and behind the writing process and into Florida. So we're going to play this track right now. Something else, catch Frankie Raye, www.frankieraye.com, or on all her social medias, which will be supplied. You absolutely rock, sweets.
Thank you.
Alrighty, you take it easy, and we'll catch up with you soon. Let's listen to something else, Struthlings, on the DJ Struth Show, and a big round of applause once again for Frankie Raye.